Folks, welcome back to our Creators Let's Play. And first off, thank you to the person that pointed out that I had the automation for the maple pastry bakeries wrong. I had the let me just open up real quickly. I had this bit maple district stock set to maple syrup, not maple pastries. Good spot, thank you. That's why I ask you guys to comment, because I miss stuff sometimes. I had another pretty good suggestion, which was so that we could get... It's going to let me get rid of these now. Awesome. Maybe. Maybe not. I might end up having to delete and rebuild these to get rid of that. Because it's kind of annoying. This one is obviously paused. This is where I did some bad copying and pasting of things. Obviously, I wonder if I can grab something that doesn't have any automation rules. I put you down. No, I can't copy blank rules. The idea of levies having automation rules seems a bit weird. But anyway, yeah, I had the suggestion to move this over a little bit and put another mechanical fluid pump on here to pump water out of this once it's full into here, so we can make this deeper. I do kind of like that idea. I just want to see how we get on with the current design and this keeping... how this does with keeping stuff full, because I think we might, we could maybe do that once we're overflowing over here, and that would actually be a good way of minimizing the water flow through here to keep the the mine dry over here. So yeah, I like that idea. Over here, I did not get the automation done on this, but we don't need to worry about it just yet. Over here, because we've got loads of trees popping up towards the end of the last video, and we're up to 1,000 logs now, so we don't have so much problem, but I threw these guys in. They can't reach everything, but they can reach quite a lot of the trees, and I thought that would help alleviate the overloading of the lumberjacks. And we could even make those be bots. And that would help even more. So, yeah. That should be a good thing. So that's that. Things should start getting a little bit better. The other good suggestion that I had, which I think was maybe before this, was if I'd been smarter, we could have done some clever irrigation of all of this area. I was not smarter, but that's fine. We could put it in now with tunnels. And I'm somewhat tempted, because what we could do doesn't really save us a huge amount, but it's cooler. So what we could do is get rid of the water dump here, create some sort of irrigation tank over here, and then have tunnels running through everything that we want to irrigate over here. That would be cooler. We'd have to get water into it, and maybe we could pump water up into it. So that would be maybe a slightly longer term project as things stabilize. For now, we need to finish this up. Maybe we should start working on that now, actually, because it would be kind of nice for this. And we could use tunnels to help. So maybe we could, maybe we could put it in here. Not really thought about how to do this, but, you know, when's that ever stopped me implementing an idea? Pretty much never. So we're at a point where we can just delete all of these trees. So let's do that. And I like now that when things are instantly deletable, they just get deleted. I think that's a really cool addition that the devs have made. Speaking of changes that are coming, the official release of version 1 of the game has been confirmed for the 5th of March, which is so cool. Hot take maybe. I didn't like the graphics in the trailer that they released. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, to be fair. But yeah, personally, I didn't like the style of graphics that were in that. Yeah, I will caveat that with being someone who doesn't like change particularly, and it felt like a change in the graphical style to what they've been. Okay, we can't put that there, I guess, because of all the buildings that are there, so that's fine. So that probably means we can't put one there, but we can maybe put one there. I'm not sure we've got a power shaft there. But anyway, we can make use of it. Although that might mess up our flow. So let's go with the pattern of that. We probably can't reach there. Although we could probably be a little bit cheesy. No, we can't, because we can't build it there. Okay. So that's that. I guess I'm kind of curious now. Power supply is better. We could we? Probably not actually, because of the grav batteries. No, we can't build down that side. As long as we remember that that's books. Remind me that that's books, folks. I guess what we could do is... Can they get to that? No, they can't get to it. Wrong one. Delete that. And then put it back, but just pause for a second. Grab that. Make that books. And there we go. So we will, again, be hammering the paper supply, but that's fine. So in theory, we could put one there. So I guess in theory, we could put one on top of there. And they can reach that. So I guess in theory, we could put one there. And I guess if they can reach it, in theory, we could put one there, which they can. Awesome. Yeah, that's disconnected all of this, which is not so awesome. But anyway, need some pathage to get to some of this stuff. Nothing like a large unplanned project inspired by a random comment on a YouTube video. We like that kind of thing. So they're doing that. We also need to isolate this. And I mean, dirt's quite low, but I think using dirt would be better. So let's try and keep the shape. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller inside. Should still give us plenty of room for doing mine type things. Get rid of you, please. And 2 high should be plenty for this. You can go. So yeah, that should be fine. We need pathage for this. Pathage being the verb to lay path, obviously. So they'll get those in. Paper production's taking a hit because one of our paper mills is disconnected now. So what we're going to do is, again, dirt is going to be a limiting factor for a bit. I wonder if, particularly as we've disconnected one of our dirt excavators. So yeah, well done me for not thinking ahead. Going to try and extend this down somewhat naturally. You know, we'll try and make this sympathetic. We are playing the folk tales after all. So if it was the Iron Teeth, maybe we wouldn't worry about that. But with the folk tales, we kind of think about these sorts of things. So we don't need you. We don't need you. We don't need you. We don't need those. That will maintain coherency and watertightness. We'll then come across the back there, because obviously we've got our storage here. So let's come across there. It's a pretty irregular shape, but I think that's fine. Yeah, that'll be fine. We're then going to want some explosives. And I think actually we're going to want to place triple explosives there. And we've got extract and we've got explosives. I need more storage for explosives, but you know, is what it is. You don't need that ladder there now, so let's liberally coat this with explosive material. As I said, not completely worked out in my mind how this comes together, but I think it involves the removal of this, or the inside of this. So let's enable that. Go. So they can't reach, because they ignored me and they built that. Let's make that a priority. We are going to need to up our paper production. So I think what we'll do is tunneling, vertical power. These are such a powerful addition to the game. And yes, they transfer power, so we'll do that. Do we have rules for paper production? We do. Bring you over there. We probably want to have you as a logs and an obtain. You're a scrap metal and an obtain. You should probably have a rule that is something like if scrap metal is less than or equal to 10, prioritized by haulers, and then we'll duplicate and invert. Yep. Right, you're all done. So let's send you guys home. Probably needed to pass there still. We can do that and that. So we have lots of dirt building happening, which is cool. Lumber is obviously in a better place, and we've got lots of trees to cut down. This is looking much the same, to be honest. Bread's... that's kind of weird. I guess because we've got so much storage for bread in the bakeries, that's why it looks low, but it's actually fine. If we wanted to be turning over our logs faster, we could do that, because we've got the bots. Right, that's those set up. I did realise that we have a ladder here, which will give them some access straight away. So let's prioritise getting those built as well, because that'll get this turning over faster, which is good. I'm not sure why you... oh, because they've already planted them, that's why. Oh, God. It's Friday afternoon, folks. It's been a week. It's been a week. Right, all of the explosives is in. Obviously, we don't want to detonate the explosives until we've got all of the dirt in. I could see benefit in us having more dirt extraction. I'm just not sure where to put it. I mean, we could maybe put one over here. And we've got power, haven't we? I see no reason why we shouldn't put one here, apart from the distance that they have to travel. Can I put one there? I think they're 5, aren't they? Yeah. I think we can then tap power through there. And yeah, it's a journey for them. But we can shorten that journey thanks to the magic of zip lines. I can do that. I can do that. Bosh. I thought that was going to connect. There. Yeah. There. So that will help. Probably I should make that all a medium priority. And probably I should connect those as well. So let's do that through there like that. That feels like it makes sense to me. Let's make you be bots. Let's grab the rules for when you pause. Yep, that'll be fine. We've got 26 spare bots. Okay. Why are you not working, sir? Why are you not working, sir? You are fully stocked. You have power. This is the problem that I had before. where after I'd gone through and removed the add remove workers thing, rather than the pause resume, some buildings were sat on a 0 out of 0 workers. I had this on the other save as well, on the bot production. So that's probably why our treated planks have been so horrendously bad. Let's just have a quick look for any buildings that aren't lit up. That would explain it. Come on, game. Come on. You can do it. You should also be bots, not beavers. Because we've got quite a lot of bots. And that'll be good. Right, let's speed the game up a little bit, please. Please and thank you. You should be a priority as well. And we have a connection there anyway now, which is the connection we want. So that's fine, probably. We also want to make sure that the power connection has some priority. Yep. That would be a good idea. How are these forests looking? So these are about to kick in with delivering trees as well. This one is carrying the bulk of the load. So this is doing its thing. This is doing its thing. We are not quite keeping up. So what we might actually need is a second mechanical pump to lift water out of here. And we could enable that. We could fairly easily enable that, I think. By... That is a depth 4 thing. So if we put in some... double dynamite. If I was going to put a deep mechanical pump there, so I'd be looking to put some double explosives there. Please, game. Because, I mean, the sluice should let through as much water as it can, really. It doesn't seem, you know, water's not really backing up here, so I think this is the limiting factor. So I think, yeah, putting another deep mechanical pump here to pump this out faster would be better. So let's have a look at doing that. We should be able to easily do that and copy the logic. So, and then another set of double dynamite. Oh, that's a single actually, is it? Yeah, that's a single. Delete you, delete you. So I could have put triples there. The four distracted me. Let's get you in. And I guess at the same time, they could start building that. Copy the rules. And we'll make that a medium priority. Yeah. What I might do between videos is use dev tools to get rid of those levies that have got the rules on them, because obviously levies shouldn't have rules. You can go, and that hopefully will be able to up the pumping rate. Get this to close. As we could do with getting a bit more water in here. It's trying. It's trying. I mean, the other thing we could do, we just need to get above this lip, really. Which it's almost doing. It's a big area to try and irrigate. And it's maybe not the most efficient way to do it. Maybe the better way would be to blast some of these out to keep the trees growing. But, hey, giant projects are fun. So, speaking of giant projects being fun, H for boom, H for boom. Oh, we need to delete you and not reload the game. And not necessarily do that either. But anyway, we can overcome that little issue. We need a bit more path. And I never think of grabbing the path like that with the B key. Although I just did, so maybe I do think of doing that. We want to empty that one. And we've now got 3 of those. How's the power output looking? Not quite enough. Not quite enough. We've got smart power back now, so just have to see how we get on. Okay, so it's just about starting to come over the edge there. These guys are working hard. They're working hard, but they probably would have done better if we had 2 from the start. But yeah, I mean, what we could, we have a couple of options. We could put some irrigation ponds in here, or I could dynamite into these, and that would get water in there. They are trying. They are trying. Just can't quite get enough, I don't think. Oh, they're running a little bit under power. I mean, I guess at this point, we don't necessarily need this stuff down here. So we could do that to try and boost it up. But I do want to put well-being stuff in here, so we need more power generation up here, really. I'm wondering if we could actually... We need to move our extract production. To move our extract production. But yeah, it's not a... I guess we've got the potential that we could put a whole bunch of them along here. Once we've got our paper stockpile up. But we've drained this and we've got 12 days left. So yeah, the suggestion that we want to pump water back. He's probably right. But I think that's a job for another day. I'm going to have a look here. I'm just going to set this up. So this is, no, we want to do a signal. This is going to be pen 1. And we're going to do if season equals bad tide, resume, save, and we're also going to do if depth. I'm just going to do that. So we'll do script. So if season equals bad tide and the depth is less than 1, we dump water in. So let's, that's saved. Discard. Close, and then duplicate, invert. Yeah, and if it's not bad tide, all the thing is fuller than that, we pause. That's fine. And then I'm going to make this one signal, and we're going to do pen 2, 1, pen 2. We're going to copy that to there, and then I'm just going to edit it, and we're going to do script, and then I can just change the number to 2. Test, save, script, 2, test, save and close. And then what we can do here is one, save, script. So this is the resume one, and we want, and that is greater than or equal to 0.7. And then we'll discard that, close, discard that, close, duplicate, invert. And what that's going to do is it's going to keep this relatively full with clean water, but still let it pump out. And then when we hit a bad tide, there won't be as much room for bad water to go in until the water dump kicks in. The water dump will top it up, stop the bad water, and then so there'll only be a tiny bit of bad water in there. And then when the bad tide ends, the mechanical pump will be able to pump water out, and yeah, then the bad water will evaporate. So I think that'll be fine. As I said, I'm willing to be proven wrong with the setup of this. And if we do need to add in something to let out the contamination in the future, that's fine. The other thing we could do is extend them and put in a bad water pump, but I don't really want to do that. Right, that's that. That we'll just let dry. Do we want to let it dry out? We're just about keeping some scrap metal coming in. More would be more gooder, but you know. So then we're going to... I'm going to blast this down, all down one more. Maybe two more. Yeah, let's go two more actually. Because I'm just thinking that the exit needs to be that deep anyway, because I want to be below the paths. So pumping the water up's going to come a long way, so we're going to need a lot of power. They're kind of holding, so that's okay. Over here, right, this needs a bit of a revamp. So what we're going to do is, at the moment we have this set, so these go to 0.6 when it's temperate. And this kind of just finds a level. So what we're going to do instead is delete these, put in sluices, and then put levees on the top. And take your suggestion, which also lets me delete. And we can still use the sluice to then do the filling. In fact, we can just use the sluice to do the filling, so we could have a few pumps to back load. So let's do that. We probably don't want to pump until the water's at that level. So we then... the power connection. We can sort the power connection out afterwards. Yeah. We do that. Why are you an issue? I could move you over one more, particularly if I detonate that out. So let's do that. You there. Put you there. Put you there. That can go. And then the power connection could have stayed, but anyway. We can power there. Yep. That'll be fine, and then we'll pump. That will let us pump excess water into here. Good idea. Good idea. We are going to need also a way to lift water up to here. That's a height difference. Yes, I could use the measuring tool, but I'm old-fashioned of 6, 9, 12, 14. So 3 mechanical fluid pumps, which is what 2100 HP. We could string power along here. So we already have good access here. So I can see there is a staircase there already. Thank you very much. But this one's closer. So let's get... And this would have been a sensible place to put a staircase when we were short of trees. Yes. It would have. I didn't really see it at the time. It's something that I appreciate when, most of the time when I watch other content creators play the game, but I think a lot of people that don't make videos don't appreciate. Particularly as quite a lot of content creators that play this game seem to suffer from a similar problem to me, and being neurodivergent and the kind of hyper-focus issue. Then, you get so intently focused on the thing that you're doing that you can't see all of the other things. So we have a slight issue at here, that some of our trees are going to expire. So we will look at doing the thing that I spoke about, and we can enable that with a little bit of help there, and then just clearing that out. These guys should just about survive, but this is an approved tactic. It's not really a late game tactic, and I feel we're in the late game, but we're trying to engineer a neat solution to this. So we're going to use a tactic to just give those a little bit of a lease of life. We actually need a lot more lumberjacks over here. Or, well, we're at a decent number of trees now, so maybe we don't. Yeah. Our tree supply is actually quite good, which is nice. Okay, right. H for boom. And I'm not going to worry about closing this in yet. We don't have any water in it, obviously. So, and it makes access a little bit easier. So what we need to think about is tunnels for irrigation. And then what we can do is actually close these off and have irrigation spots for them to work in. So we have platform on path under platform tunnel. That's the job we want. Yes, thank you. So that is the same cost as a tunnel, but saves us putting the path. And what we're going to do first is come to there, which is next to... Oh, we should actually line it up properly, because otherwise it'll bug me. No, that's still not lining it up properly. That's lining it up properly. But we're going to stop one short for now. What we do is, if we do that, they'll be able to build that whole tunnel without any issues. Right, industry. Let's put in a couple of centrifuges up here. We've got some storage for extract there. We could probably do with a bigger storage for extract, but once that's in, we can get rid of that, which will be nice. They're in. We need to control these. We can control them off of that one, I guess. So, right, let's pause you. In fact, we'll get. I'm going to be confident that we won't need to be doing that again. So we'll get rid of you. Because you're very janky. I'd meant to put zip lines in there, didn't I? Yeah. Go. I was hoping that would irrigate these trees, which die in time. I've got a bit of time. I had meant to put zip lineage into here. So how would we put zip lineage into there easily? I guess we could put it about here on platforms. And I guess that would mean we need that. Yeah. And they'd need help to build that. So let's give them help to build that. There. Oh, you're in the way, aren't you? Do dar, and then what I'm going to do is you that and that. Yeah, it's a bit messy, but hey, so is my brain. You should be... let's just work out what we want the rules to be, shall we? So you are main pond depth. I think I want you to kick in when the main pond depth is like 2.5. So if main pond depth greater than 8, let's go 2.25. Resume, save, duplicate, invert, save, copy, copy. The other thing that I thought we could do is come down here and build some more windmills for this, because I think they can work semi-submerged. So let's up the windmill capacity. Then let's come over here. Let's grab those. Bosh, bosh. And then we can get rid of you. We can set you both to empty. And that'll be good. but he's working on it. He's got a lot to do though, so let's... We're actually using almost all of our beavers, which is the first in a while. But let's put you in there. We will quickly give you both harvest rules. We need power, so we need power generation up here. Oh, this is dried out. Excellent. How's the scrap metal looking? It's hanging in there. The metal production is running incredibly inefficiently. But I guess I can't blame them. So... Right. Oh, they've got to that. Excellent. So that's connected now. So it's not quite so bad for them to get to. See how this fares next time. I could get down there, so we should be able to put... No, maybe I can put you there. Yep. I guess that means I can put you there. Which gives us hopefully quite a bit more power generation capacity. And in theory, we can fill this up to this level, apart from the fact that I currently only have these up to here. We could build deeper ones if we actually manage to fill it to that level. We'll see. These don't need to have anything set because they're just going to act as sluices. I'm curious to see how they act. What's the next thing to do? I really wanted to get this working. We need a lot of power generation. Delete those. So let's think. Let's think. So if we had our first... This is going to spoil the aesthetic a little bit, but... unless we did it over the back. Yeah. We could do it over this side, which would preserve the aesthetic. So let's do that. Darn it. So we'd go there. So we need to get up here. We can do that. We have the technology. 3, 2, 1. So we need to, we also need to get to this level. So there. If we put platform there, like that. You blast that. Do we need to actually? Because we need to get another. Let's not blast that down yet. Let's ponder. Let's ponder. Yep. This is starting to produce, which is good. I know I said we'd put a maple syrup forest in, but the irrigation project has distracted me. But this one is getting there. Oh, no. Oh, oops. You weren't supposed to cut down those trees, folks. That's on me. I'm sure one of you spotted that mistake. And if you did, well done. Yep. Dolt. Big dolt. Right. Well, that's going to have hampered the progress a little bit, isn't it? Thankfully, they couldn't get to all of them. Oops. Oopsie. Right. Oh, well. Lavy, folks. Lavy. Right. Let's detonate you. So if I put a mechanical fluid pump there, you will be at depth 4. So let's put that there, and that'll get that to depth 5. Which means you actually want to put some dirt there. And we want to put a little bridge deck there so they can build that dirt. There we go. Space for that to fall into. So we're going to build this as a bit of a hybrid construction. Let's put you there. Yep. Platforms. Just think a moment. If I did platforms there. Did levies. Oh, we need to block that edge piece in. That. So it's going to be a bit of a hybrid. We'll try and make it look a little bit better. So let's put that there, and then they can get to some of that as well. So we then have deep mechanical fluid pump to there. Yep. So actually, which is why I'm kind of stopping them a moment, because we need a backstop to that. Or we could use the wall behind it as a backstop. It makes it the area a little bit bigger, but that's fine. And we could go there. There. because that's a little bit deeper, we could do it like that. It makes the shape a little bit weird, but you know. So like that. Like that. Like that. There. There. Impermeable floors in there. And then we need the one mechanical fluid pump up there. So then we would need to... So that can go down one more. So we actually need 4 doing it here because the water's dropped a little bit. But that's okay because, yeah, the water level's dropped by 1. By some. The water's going to be coming in here. Just for neatness, I'm going to mark those to be deleted. But it says that one's at depth 5. That one's at depth 3. So actually we want to go down 2. Take 2 out of there. We'll take all of those out as well. Awesome. Those have all been built. So how much power is that generating? 2,500. That's pretty good. Feel like we could put another one there. But why not? You know, log situation is better now. Oh, I put you in the wrong way. And I guess you guys probably spotted that as well. There we go. We're going a while today. We might end up having to stop before we've achieved anything particularly miraculous today, which is a little bit frustrating. You know, we do what we can do, folks. We do what we can do within the time that we have. I'm thinking, I know, shocking, that we do something like, is a 6 going to be big enough? So what I'm thinking we do is bung some bridges out there and they can build loads of it from above then. While the beavers are running around down here, we're not going to detonate anything because that will be bad. There we go. All right. We should be able to now safely do an H for boom. H for boom. Yeah, so that's now going down to depth 5. Actually stops there, so I could have done single dynamite. Thank you, game. Thank you kindly. So we want to do that, that. So we might as well do that. Then we want to, that needs to come down 1, and that all needs to come down 2. So we're going to have 4 of these to power, to lift everything. To where we want to get to. Why am I putting it there when I can put it back here? I don't know. Probably because you're a dummy. And why have I only cut it out to there? I don't know. Let's stick with what we... Let's go with the answer you first thought of. Yeah. Assume there was method to your madness. Right, so you go, you go. You go there, and that lets us then pump the water all the way up. They need power, obviously. What we'll do is run the power up there. I think they can reach all of that, probably off of those bridges, or if not, yeah, it must be off of the bridges. These guys are still working, and I guess we could also come in over here. Just be more brutally efficient. In the interest of speed. Right, that's all hooked up. No, not quite. The other thing I want to do, which let's delete the path that's there now. I want to encourage the water to go into there first, because naturally the water won't go that way. We're just going to put some dams there. So it'll just sit a little bit higher. Come on, come build that. Good beaver. Right, so that's done. We need to... Well, I would like to put you there. Put power connection there. And then we'll have to delete these. That's gone. Let's think about a windmill array for power generation. That, which means you and you. There. not sure 8 is going to generate enough power. We'll step down. Not sure 10 will generate enough power either. But it is what it is. So you can get to that from the side. So we can now delete you. Thought for a second we'd thrown a beaver into the abyss. So we then need to do that and that and that. And then we'll have you there, so we'll need a power connection there. We've just managed to block them from a whole bunch of what they need to build, so let's do that. And then that's the drought over. Yeah, that should let them get back in and build what they need to build. So this obviously isn't a quick project. This is going to take a while. Let's just ask them politely not to block themselves. And we can't place the last pump yet. So that's a thing. Hopefully this will fill up with water quickly enough that the trees aren't all going to die. I guess we'll see. It's nice that it gets diverted into here first. So, yeah. We'll get to see how this is going to behave, and then probably I'll end the video here because I've done a few long ones lately, and not everyone likes it long and hard, folks. Let's... I think I can just do there. There, maybe there, and I think they can build all of those from that. Oh, I asked you not to do that, beavers. Let's pause that, and hopefully then they can do that. Actually short of planks and gears still. In this day and age. So we're still not working towards my goal of achieving global domination. No, not global domination. The 3 wonders. But I think it's because I keep building stuff. But building stuff is fun, you know? And people keep giving me ideas, so... You're all bad people. So this should be filling now. Which is just big, I think, is the problem with this and me trying to keep it full. It's just big. And that makes it hard to keep it full. That's part of the challenge, isn't it? And, you know, we like fun challenges. So, I mean, this is going to be... This water tank is not huge. So this may not do what we want it to do. What I might do is add an emergency irrigation point. So that if this becomes empty, we can water dump in and keep the trees irrigated. I've got thought about how we can do that as well with some sluices and stuff. I thought they'd built that. Ah, they can build it from underneath. Excellent. So as long as we get that one paused. So far we're generating 1500 HP. We need significantly more than that. We can put some gravity batteries in as well, and we should. I think the other thing to note is it takes a while for water to actually make it back here. And with what we're doing, it's going to take even longer for that now. So, yeah. That's going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing. But we'll see how we get on, I guess. The other thing we might need to bear in mind is a point to switch these off when it's too full. But I'm not sure we'll get to that point. Yeah. Not sure we'll get there. I love that these little guys are working hard. We still demand a lot more power than we produce, but you know. We are slowly starting to let water out of that, which means we are almost full on there. So I'm assuming we are, yeah, we're close to the equilibrium point at day 3. Yeah. So we'll now be at the point where we're pumping water rather than naturally filling. So we'll see if we, I guess, pump past another 1 and a bit blocks. So, and I guess it doesn't matter that I leave this on auto because it's just naturally all going to circulate. Yeah. It's probably fine. Right, that's done. So let's unpause that now. And what are we looking at? We need 2800 power really, don't we? So we do still need more. I think if I move my path over, get rid of that. And you can just come build that now. We'll get rid of that and that. So we were there, so there, there. There. Gonna need quite a few, which yes is gonna spoil the skyline, I'm afraid, but you know, power is required. Explosives are required to connect said power. Because otherwise they can't actually reach. I suppose the other way would have been to put it there. Yeah. I prefer putting it there, I think. Go across there. There. And then we just join those two. I prefer that. Right, how is everything looking over here? So we're flowing through here, we're flowing round here now. We're not having issues, which is nice. Water's got to here. This is just starting to crack over that, and it is now deeper than any stream gauge that we've got in here. Is that used by anything? To reserve water depth. So I don't think that one's used by anything. So we're going to delete that one. I'm just worried about having too many signals being generated, and we're going to put that guy there. And we'll get him built, and because we're going to need a signal to stop this, or the alternative is we come back here and build a set of triples. See if we can get that done in time. I'm kind of impressed with how much water we're getting stockpiled back there and still having everything flowing. And now recharged our battery system. So that's all quite nice. Yeah. So yeah, good idea on the old water pumps like that. We can now get H for boom. Get those connected up like so. Up, down. Get another set on. I guess we don't need that there now. So get another set in. Put you there. Connect across there. Connect across there. We do that. We could hang the gravity batteries there. Bad tide approaching. Which essentially means lots of power generation ability, which is good. We need more bot chassis. So I am going to delete all of those rules. You are set to chassis. So let's get you making chassis, please. Please and thank you. So this now generates 3,200 power, which is plenty. We're not going to be making use of this cycle, obviously. So we'll get a robust power system in first. Obviously, they're not going to all hold loads of power, but they'll hold some. So you let's go with that. It's generating a pretty nice amount of power, and we'll have power storage. So once that one's built, they can still build that, so we can do tunnel, vertical power shaft tunnel there. That'll connect them to the gravity batteries once I do the one on the top. Then we can hook that in, and that'll be fine. I ideally we want there to be water in this before I then start doing stuff with blasting into these, because it's going to cause us problems otherwise. Doing over here. Oh, awesome, we've got the extra set of gates in, so that's fine. So we can get rid of those. So I don't think we're going to have any issues there. So we're up to 1.35, which is way more than we had stored last time. So hopefully we can keep this full for longer. So we're getting these built. The problem is gears for a change. So I think we're going to need another block of gear and plank production. Obviously. I think maybe we mirror it over here. It seems to be our biggest problem at the moment. And then we use that to up our bot production. I think that'll be how we handle that. That's going to take them a while, basically, isn't it? I'm going to prioritise the furthest ones, because then we can get them connected in. We've still got to build one of these as well, which is, again, a lot of gears. So let's start doing that. Going? Yep. So there. Power shaft tunnel, vertical power shaft tunnel. That should give us power over this side, where we should be able to then get more plank and gear production going on. We've got the raw materials, we've got loads of logs. So we are in fact full on logs. So given where we are with scrap metal, I'm going to make that one logs, actually. Until we are in a better place with scrap metal, we might as well be storing logs. I think. Quite like where we are with well-being at the moment. I mean, food-wise, we're low on maple syrup, which is why we're low on the maple pastries, and I haven't got that sorted yet because we've got sidetracked on the quest to make a cool irrigation thing. If you understand why my brain is the way it is, you will not be shocked by the fact that I'm on a side quest. So, yep. How do we is what it is. So we're not going to get any water into this side of the bad tide. We are 1.55. That's pretty nice. We could, if we could get more of that water being pumped, we could store even more. But we're in a really good place with that, I think, for keeping this full for longer. As the bad tide starts, those switch, yeah, and start generating lots of power. That's a little bit flooded, just because these bang their way up to maximum. Just temporarily let a little bit of water out of there. That's probably bad. There we go. But we've got a nice full water system. So currently this is up at 2.79. So, I mean, there's probably no harm in that water being pumped across. Because ultimately it will just get recycled, and this is a smaller surface area, so it'll evaporate smaller because they're not connected water bodies, I think. So we need that to go in. That needs that on top of it. So this is a very nice 92,000 power battery bank. So hopefully the kind of combination of 4,000 power and that will be pretty good. So we now want to retreat the path. Now we've still got a little bit of water there we can pump up as a test. They say I was not going to do a really long one. I did, didn't I? Oh well. Lies, folks. It's all lies. Well, no, because we're not going to get the mechanical pump built. So, but we are going to get it placed. Oh, I didn't want them to go there. Oh well. And they can just go. Right. Delete path. Delete path. Delete path. Delete path. We're going to place that, and that's already in. So let's get that built. And then deep mechanical fluid pump. That's in. That's in. If we had the gears, I'd make you sit and watch, but we don't. So, yeah. Maybe we'll get it built quick enough that we can see this do a tiny bit of pumping as a proof of concept. You know, we only need 4 more. We've got the gears. We've got the gears. You can do it, Beavers. Come on. Proof of concept. There's so little water. But there we go. We have proof of concept that this works. So there's really not very much water there. For them to be able to run efficiently. But it does work. So that's cool. And that's going to be it, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, click the like button. Comments, questions, suggestions, corrections. I do appreciate them. Stick it down below. And I'll see you next time. I'll thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members. I sometimes forget that until I'm editing. See you, folks.